Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Weight loss.
Weight loss.
Easy weight loss.
So it's about time that we talk about the truth.
Here's the problem I have with Ozempic. Number one, if you take the recommended dosage, you're gonna feel like dog shit. True. Dog. You're gonna feel terrible because it's gonna make you feel like you have morning sickness. Even if you're a guy, you're gonna know what a woman feels like having morning sickness. Gonna make you sicker than a dog. Will you lose weight? Yes. What the research shows is you're gonna lose about 20% of your body fat, 15 to 20% of your body fat in 12 to 15 months. But here's the problem. Within that, you're also losing muscle mass. What we found is the biggest predictor of health is not whether a person has low bone density, because you can actually have low bone density and be pretty decent. But one thing we know is if you're sarcopenic or you have low muscle mass, you're gonna have problems, because that muscle pulls in the bones, number one. That muscle gives you reserves if you were to have an issue where you got sick or got ill, that you can draw upon that. And then people that have more muscle mass just are healthier in general. So now, most people do what? They take this magic pill called Ozempic, they lose weight, and they do. And why do they lose so much weight? They're losing body fat, but they also lose a lot of muscle mass. If I lose that muscle mass, it's not gonna come back. So what we found was, in the long-term studies, is that those people followed later on, put all the fat back on. And don't put any muscle mass back on. So now they become obese sarcopenic patients because they've lost their muscle mass and they're obese. It's not like they're obese and they have muscle, they've actually lost the muscle. So that's the thing about Ozempic, right? People understand, I'm gonna lose all this body fat, which is great, but they're also gonna lose muscle mass. So why do they lose so much weight? Because they're adding the muscle. Muscle is way more dense than fat. If you were in school when I was, I know that was a long time ago. But they brought in this big column of fat and it only weighed 5 pounds, and you picked up and you go, that's not even very heavy. But it looks really heavy because it's big. It's just that fat doesn't weigh a lot. It's not very dense. It's kind of like homemade bread, which is really small but super dense. It's like a brick. And then you got Wonder Bread or whatever, is very fluffy and it's very light. Even though it's much bigger, it's much, much lighter. That's what you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose that muscle density and you're gonna lose some fat with it. The way to fix that is if you're taking Ozempic, you gotta get on a weight training program. Hire a personal trainer. You gotta take extra protein. You're gonna get at least 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. So I weigh 188 pounds. I wanna get 188 grams of protein every single day. I know, like this is down freaking rabbit holes, I know. If you're gonna take protein, I recommend something by Body Health called an essential amino acids. Why? That company has research to show that you absorb 99% of the amino acids that they'll turn into your body protein, muscle mass, bone mass, whatever, right? Collagen, all that kind of stuff. The problem is that if we eat food, and the healthiest food we have to absorb or utilize protein is gonna be eggs. But what's the problem with that? How much do you absorb? Well, you only can utilize 48%. So you either got 48% of the best food that we have, right? Whey protein is even lower. Bone broth is even lower. Meat and everything is even lower, but the highest we have are eggs at 48%. Well, I shouldn't even put that high, it's way down here, right? And then the highest we have is an essential amino acid by Body Health, which is 99% absorbable, utilizable, whatever term we use. So if you're taking 5 tablets, that's 30 grams of protein that you're getting compared to 30 grams of protein in an egg. That's the equivalent. You take Ozempic, but you gotta work out muscle mass stuff, not cardiovascular stuff. You gotta do muscle building stuff. And the other thing is you gotta get enough protein in your diet so that you don't waste away and get something called sarcopenia.